Hello and welcome to this video tutorial about GPS and maps. This will be basically a series of two applications which I will teach you to develop for Android. So first of all, what we will be doing is we will be learning how to create GPS application, which is just using a GPS device or internet-based location services to show the current coordinates, the latitude and longitude in your application. And the second application, which will be a sequel to this video tutorial which we will do now, will be showing the location on maps. It would be able to do a variety of different things with maps, maybe search an address and first of all find out the current location, and we need to do a little bit of setup in your hardware, the hardware device which you're using, your tablet or the Lenovo or the Android device, to find out the current location using maps. So let's finish up the GPS part first. It's pretty simple, but you may some of you told me that you are having some issues setting up this application and making it working, there are errors, etc. So let's get rid of this first, because this is the basics of location services which will be utilized later by the maps. And yeah, let's start straight ahead. This is a get GPS location application which we developed together in the class. I'm going to create a new Android application project which is basically just a copy of it, but I'm going to show you step by step how to do this. I'm going to give it get GPS location 2, similar name, but I just need to give it a different one so that my workspace doesn't complain. 19, no theme, to make things very simple. Next. Blank activity. This will create your default application. Now once this application is ready, we need to ensure that get GPS location to main activity.java. It has basically nothing, and a GPS tracker.java. Now this is the GPS tracker.java which I've just manually copied inside. I'm gonna share this with you also. This is the file which is available online by somebody who did this project, who did this GPS tracker application program. This is pretty simple. It just uses the location manager's services from Android, and it checks if the GPS is enabled as a provider to find out the current location of the user. If it is available, then we will be using this. If it's not available, then we will be using the network provider, and if none of these is available, then we'll be showing a error message or a pop-up message that please go and enable the location services. So let's go through this step by step. So as you know, from Android we can access the current location of the user from GPS, which is the physical GPS device. It does not need any data connection or Wi-Fi connection. This is one, and it is referred to as what we know in Android programming terms as GPS provider. And then we have Wi-Fi and 3G. Both of these are actually requiring some special permissions, and network provider, if you have basically enable this, the network provider, then this takes care of the Wi-Fi and I believe 3G also. So this is basically two settings which we need to enable, two methods which we need to enable using the location services class. So this is an example how can we get the location service. Location manager is an Android class. We need to import this, give it a name, the object of location manager, whatever name you'd like, and then get it from the system service. And then what we do is we check if the provider is enabled. What kind of provider? The GPS provider. And then we also check if the provider is enabled. What kind of provider? The network provider. These are the two lines which we are actually running here, and it gives us back a boolean, true or false. So if GPS is enabled, we will get here true in GPS enabled variable. If it's the network enabled is the network method is enabled to get the current location, then we will get true over here. So basically these two lines are returning us true or false, and all these two variables are basically booleans. you can see is GPS enabled, is network enabled. So yeah, basically this is what it does. So I'm going to go back to the main activity.java, and if you see the old one, the get GPS location, let's just open it, what there was inside. And I believe I've shared the code of this with most of my students. I've been messing up with the theme over here, so it's giving me some errors, but overall it's working fine. I'm going to show this to you also, as I showed to you in the class. Yeah, these two lines and actually the whole list. Now let's just copy from here. Basically it's just a reference we are creating for the button show location, and I'll paste this in the main activity.java just below the set content view under the onCreate method, and I just need to create this button show location just above the onCreate. So I'll have button btn show location. I'll just copy and paste this, and it'll be easier. There's nothing, and I need to have a button show location, a button to show the location. What happened here? Okay, the package name should be 2. I copied and pasted, I believe. So yeah, make sure you have the current package name, the correct package name, com example get GPS location, com.example.get GPS location. Right, okay, so this show location button should be there if you want to make this simple exercise working. Activity main, let's switch back to 21. Okay, let's get rid of this. Save your work, but should be here. Okay, let's give it this name, which basically any name which you like to have. Show location is what we are giving it now. Show location, show underscore location, and the text is show my location. Okay, that's all. So let's save it. That's all we have in our interface. There's nothing else, because we just need to be looking at the coordinates. That's what we are interested in. So let's get rid of this old GPS location project. Come back to main activity.java GPS. Now what GPS is, this is the object of this GPS tracker class. GPS tracker GPS. Okay, that's all, and we'll see the other. Okay, wait, I need to switch on the fan, otherwise I'll melt. So what's it? Yeah, that's better. So the next thing is, we've got the project ready. Let's see what's the next thing. Permissions. If you run this application as it is in your phone, this will not work because you do not have permissions. So let's copy and paste all these permissions. For GPS you only need access network state and course location and file location, but just for our ease, let's just copy all of these permissions, 5 permissions, and paste in the manifest. So Android manifest.xml, we pasted this over here. Make sure it is ended properly, just to avoid other issues. Okay, what happened here? Yeah, this is missing. Okay, so let me just write this now. It is over here. Maybe I didn't copy correctly. Okay, so the permissions are there. Now what we need to do is basically make sure that we have hardware access, hardware permissions given. So go to settings, location, turn on the locations at the mode 2 high accuracy. So if I can show this to you over here, if you can see this, maybe this is better. Not sure if this is a better way to show you. Okay, so I'm going to go to settings, all settings, location, and turn on location. If it's off, make sure you turn it on, and make sure the accuracy, high accuracy, so it uses both GPS and the network methods, 3G and the network methods. It will show you the recent applications which have requested for the current location. So let's install our application inside this. So I'm going to go to my get GPS location project, right click it, make sure that you have correct version of the API selected. You can use Google's API 4.4.2 or Android APIs 4.4.2. This is what we are targeting at this point. Right, so let's clear the other errors or whatever the warnings are. I'm going to right click, get GPS location, run as an Android application. When I do that, let's make sure the cable is connected correctly. Okay, it is. I just plugged it in again. Okay, it's scanning and now it has installed it. Okay, let's click on get GPS. Now it will start acquiring the signals. It's currently showing 00 because it does not know my current location. Make sure this is the method which needs complete exposure to the skies. It cannot tell my current location until it gets exposure to the skies, and it is a little slow also. However, it is very, very accurate. So best is, I would advise to just leave it on outside in the air for like 5-10 minutes outside maybe of your window, and then it will be showing the correct coordinates. Now this is the basic of what you need to do. It does not need Google Play services, it does not need Google account. The next thing what we are going to do is the next application I'll develop and show to you in a few minutes, is that you need to have Google Play services with you in order to run a map, in order to run services with a map. You need to have Google Play services in the mobile. You need to have your Google's account added. How you do is basically you go to settings, all settings, go to add account, under accounts, go to Google, and then add your own account. It will say there is no account available right now, so you can add your own account. Choose existing. If you have a Google's ID, choose existing and add your Google ID and password, and then it will prompt you to install Google Play services from this phone. So you install Google Play services and then it will show you maps. But having your own Google ID over here set up on the phone is really important if you need to see really the maps and working. This is the second thing, using Google's APIs. Now what I mean by that is, if you go back to your project, you would have seen that there is, when you want to see Google's API level 19, you will see you have 4.4.2 which is Android 4.4.2, and there is also 4.4.2 which is Google's version. So it's better that for using maps you use Google's 4.4.2 which is API level 19, and what you can do is go to Android SDK Manager. I've shared with you these packages before. Take a look at what I've got installed. Make sure you've got all these installed. I've got some things which are extra also, which you may not need for the maps, but it is better that you have all the prerequisites, which is, I can tell you, is Google Play services. And from API level 19, if we go, these Google APIs x86 system image, Google's API is ARM system image, depending upon which processor you have, and these two also, as you can see, I've got everything installed except for Glass Development Kit Preview. So once you've got all these installed, you can maybe pause the video and see all what I've got is with you also. Then you will see Google's APIs level 19 with you also. Once that is done, what you need to do is go to the virtual device manager, remove all virtual devices, close down Eclipse and then restart Eclipse, and then create a new Android virtual device or emulator using Google's API. What you can do is Google's API level 19. Then you can see the map. But for now, for just running the GPS, which tells you your current coordinates, you don't need this. Okay. So that's the third thing. Use Google's APIs is preferable than Android APIs. API key according to your hardware and package name. Now this, please remember, whenever you create a new project, it has that package, and within the package, your you have to copy that package name and your SHA key. So you can go to Window and Preferences, click on Android, expand it, go to Build. This is where it shows you your SHA1 fingerprint of your hardware, of your computer. So then you go to Google, and there's a process which I've explained to you before. I'm sure you know. If you don't, I'm going to repeat this in the next video. For now, I hope you can enjoy and view your current location. If you keep this phone charged and placed outside near window for like 5-10 minutes, you can acquire and see the current location. Okay, thank you very much for watching. I hope after this you will not see any errors. This will show me nothing because I have not placed this outside. Otherwise you can see the current location. Thank you very much for watching.